Yeah! All right, hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. This is Holy Crap. See what happens when we don't have Kate. The music just starts again. Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Perception is the Bastards in a Spotlight. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is, I forgot the name for just temporary, a few seconds. What's the name of this show? The Political Spotlight, ladies and gentlemen, and I promise I am your host. We are all kinds of discombobulated. I am so sorry. Number one, we are without a producer. We do not have a producer here at the Political Spotlight. Kate has had to quit. Kate has had to quit because of unknown weirdness going on within her. No, I was gonna play this whole big thing up, but I couldn't even do it. Kate is out putting up political signs with her husband, Niles Thornburg. Wonder if it's as bad as filing a federal lawsuit for JR not making. So she is out. I think she'll be in here just momentarily. I don't know how long they're going to be out tonight. I know that they were out putting up political in Winchester doing that thing. And I was like, sure, yeah, that sounds like a perfectly good reason to miss work tonight. Getting Niles elected mayor instead of Bob McCoy. I'm perfectly fine with that. I've got no problem with that. So they're out doing that. Then, while she was out doing her thing, I was starting to come on, and the internet was not taking the hookup to the camera. It would not take the camera. No matter what I did, it would not take the hookup. And so it just kept causing me issues, and finally I had to say, screw it, let's reboot it, let's do it. The other thing is, I don't have my professional glasses cleaner tonight, obviously, as you can see. I also had an interview scheduled for tonight. The District 1 candidate, Democrat candidate, Steve Craig, was supposed to be, well, let's back up. Steve Craig was originally scheduled for Monday. And with all of the insanity that happened Monday, the lapel meeting and everything that was going on there, we pushed the meeting off, the schedule interview off because of the meeting until today. Well, then, because of some wires getting crossed, we needed to push it off one more time. Third time is a charm. Steve Craig will be joining us on Saturday. Need to mark that down right here so I know. So for all of you that hoped that we would have Saturday off, me, we do not have Saturday off. We will be right here doing a candidate interview with Mr. Steve Craig. He is the Democrat in District 1 running against the silent Mr. Green, the party-appointed candidate. Neither of these gentlemen have ever ran a campaign before. So Steve Craig is new to this world. And really, for the most part, silent Jeff Green is new to this world. So they're both running their first campaign. And everything that I have heard, all of my sources in the district, everywhere, has said they are going to be flipping that district back to the Democrats. That's been a forever district seat for the Democrats. District 1 has been Democrat forever. And last election in 2019, Ralph Jigger Smith, who was a Democrat turned Republican, but really was not like a rhino or whatever. He really did hold some Republican beliefs, conservative beliefs. He was actually one of my favorite council members, but for health reasons, he had to leave, and they actually moved out of Muncie. But he left, and then Jeff Green. I need a vacation, folks. Jeff Green was caucused in and is now holding that seat. He has, I think, said 2 or 3 words since he's been in office. And from everything that I've heard, Steve Craig will be flipping that seat back. So it is what it is. All right, ladies and gentlemen, tonight is not a night in which I was hoping to be doing this by myself because we have a lot of information to put up, but we're going to get through it. We're going to do it. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fine. We're going to get through a lot of information. So thank God I was able to actually scratch the candidate interview off. We're going to be doing that on Saturday. Tonight's interview, or tonight's show now, is going to focus on 2 screwballs. 2 elected officials, duly elected by the public. And these officials are doing things that, in my opinion, are not good for the public in which they serve, and it's really a nightmare. It's a nightmare specifically for Henry County, because what you got going on down there is just god awful. Okay, in Muncie it's bad because it's just not what we were promised. It's just not what we were promised in any way. And Ridenour was supposed to be cleaning things up, yada, yada. Ridenour was supposed to be, let's see here. How does Kate do this? Ridenour was supposed to be improving communication, improving transparency. He was supposed to improve accountability, slow government down, improve relationship between the city and the county, and put the best people in place. And he's done none of that. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, citizens of all ages, throughout all communities, tonight's order of the events, we're going to look first at the city of Muncie, because it's kind of a smaller thing that we have to look at. And then we will move on into part 2 to deal with Sheriff Sproles and what's been going on there. So, first and foremost, ladies and gentlemen, the title of tonight's show, aptly titled, What's Up with Mayor Ridenour's Projects and Henry County Sheriff John Sproles Strikes Again. Now, only this time, it's not just him looking bad, but it's also several people on his department. It's his officers, it's his deputies, specifically one person on the department. And then a crazy story. Henry County had 2 meetings this week. You see all the sheriff's officers down here, all the sheriff's deputies down here, and it's got Sheriff Sproles right there in the center. And that picture is a live picture. That is actually the size of Sheriff Sproles' head in comparison to the size of everyone else's head. So that's kind of what the issue is here, I think. But he's teaching his deputies bad habits with how they're engaging with the other elected officials within the county, and he's setting a really bad example. So we're going to get into that in a moment. But before we do, what you see behind Sheriff Sproles, for those that don't know, for those of you that don't live in Muncie or don't live even in Indiana, what you're seeing behind the sheriff's team there is part of the Muncie City Southway Center, Southway Plaza, as many of us have come to call it. The Southway Plaza is a long vacant ghost shopping mall center outside venue situation in which you would walk in one door, walk out, then walk down a ways, walk in another. There was a grocery store there. There's been grocery stores there throughout the various years. Marsh, and then Low Bills and Low Bob's or whatever. Now there's a Dollar General there now. There's been a Subway there. There's been doctor's offices. There has been a bar down there. There's the fire department runs their Toys for Tots operations out of there now. There's some kind of a children's behavioral unit there. But there was a Subway there for a while. I think a mattress sales store was there for a while, and this is essentially the beacon of the South for so long. When you would be coming into Muncie from either Anderson on 67 or Newcastle on 3, you would pass this place, and this is where a lot of people on the South Side went and got groceries and shopped and did other things, that people would so do, back when Walmart wasn't the end all be all. I'm going to show you here. I'm going to pull this up. I'm going to show you the terrain. Show you kind of a map from above here real quick. This has been basically a ghost town. It's been a ghost shopping mall, a dead shopping mall, shopping center for quite some time. And it's been an eyesore. It has been bad for the people on the south side of Muncie who say, we don't have affordable places to go get food, and we don't have places that we could walk to if we so need to, or yada, yada, yada. And various municipalities have tried to do things with this to try and get it upstarted again. I'm going to share this on the screen here so you can see. Basically, ladies and gentlemen, is you can see here on the screen, this road, South Walnut, is the divider line of the city of Muncie. Walnut divides Muncie in half from east to west and is one of the main thoroughfares through, the center city center. And then it's crossed by South Madison Street here. And where you see here, right here, this area that you see from this area up is the Southway Center, Southway Plaza, as people call it. And you can see it says there's a couple things here. There's Fresh Market Treats. That's a legitimate place that's there currently. The Dollar General is still there currently. Southway Center, that is not there. The Southway Center, that medical place is no longer there. I don't believe that Jackson Hewitt Tax Service is there. I don't believe that that's there anymore. Dollar General is here. The bar used to be down in this way, Brass Depot. This used to be the Marsh store. And then, of course, just south of here, of course, was Kmart. Kmart South. And down here was Evie's grocery store. So this was like a little place that was really kind of connected, and it is something that it's been in my life that it went from being fully functioning, fully operational to a ghost town. Well, Mayor Ridenour made it his mission, it seems like in the end of 2020, to somehow do something with this area here. Now, I was at these meetings, and I recall these meetings. Now, after what we experienced last night with the mayor having information and knowing that you can't trust them to even tell you when you're wrong. You would figure that it would give them great pleasure to tell you that you're wrong. You figure that it would give them great pleasure to say, you're wrong, here's the right answer. But as someone told me earlier, they love it that you're wrong and that you keep telling the wrong information, because what they're doing is they are setting you up to discredit you. So what they did to me is they allowed for me to preach this. And what they were probably doing was they were taking this around to all of their people and being like, look, here's the ordinance. The council signed off on it. Here's the ordinance. Look, the ordinance signed off on it here. The ordinance signed off on it here. And they essentially made me a liar. Discredit the naysayers. To point and go, see? Absolutely. Absolutely. Look, one of my biggest pain in the ass detractors, Mike Jones. Someone that I honestly, deserves to be punched in the mouth, as he does to be looked at, just it is what it is. And what he did, and I love that he did this, was that he went on last night's video where I clearly went through and said, hey, I was wrong, but then explained why I was wrong, explained it was because they purposefully hid that information, unless Ridenour forgot it along with the council members, and I don't know, whichever one. But then he literally posts to that wall, and I love this. You stated the Chevy property was purchased without anybody's knowledge, the councils or the BOWs. This is why nobody wants anything to do with your bullshit politics. You, Chris Bilbrey, are simply a liar. Unanimous. And all I can do is laugh at that. Because clearly he listened to enough of the message to hear where I was saying that I was wrong and what I was wrong about. But he didn't listen to the most important part, which it was they knew I was wrong. And when literally, I don't know that anybody with a straight face could say, if I say to you, if I ask you the answer, what is 2 plus 2? And you know that the answer to what's 2 plus 2 is 4. And I say to you, hey, what's 2 plus 2? This doesn't make sense. 2 plus 2 is 7. And I look at you and I say, hey, 2 plus 2 is 7, right? And you sit there and you go, then what happens is they are perpetuating the lie as well. And they're part of it. So, it is what it is. So Alva, in fairness, I have not asked them yet. I'm going to reach out to a couple of the council members tomorrow. I had other things I needed to do today. There were a couple of other things that I had going on. And I actually got it marked down on my calendar of things to do tomorrow to reach out to Jeff and to Troy and to ask about those. About those things, as well as a couple of other council members. I had other things that I had scheduled for today, but I'm gonna get an answer to the bottom. I'm gonna get to the bottom of it and get an answer to it. But now that makes me question everything. That makes me question everything. So I'm working on that too there, Jeremy. I'll get to that here in the second part because I have some small answers to what you were working on yesterday, but I've still got to dig a little bit more. So looking back at the Southway situation, Southway Plaza, it was kind of a confounded ordeal because this was worked on over the course of several different months over the course of 2022. It was called several different things. As we know, the council only reads the ordinances or the resolutions by title, so they don't read and go into depth of what it is. So when, for example, they read an ordinance and the mayor uses a name, let's say Brick Red Systems, for example, and every time he talks about the Southway Plaza and he talks about Brick Red Systems, he talks about Southway Plaza, Brick Red Systems. Hello, Kate. Kate's just signing in. I told you she would be here. Every time that the mayor is talking about Southway Plaza being purchased and this deal, and he's talking about Brick Red Systems, then when you go back through the paperwork and you don't see Brick Red Systems anywhere, it's kind of like, wait a minute, is he lying? What's going on? You don't know what to do. So I want to read part of this newspaper article and get you guys up to speed here, let you guys know what we're looking at. Because basically, essentially what's happened here, folks, is the mayor wanted a tax abatement for this property. Wanted someone to get a tax abatement for 6 years. Not pay taxes on this or not pay the full amount of taxes. And he told us that a company called Brick Red Systems was coming in and they were going to be in the building. And it was, they were going to do a lot of work there. And they were coming here from Washington. And, that's why they needed this tax abatement. And they were going to do so good. And they might even bring, in an eatery out in the parking lot. And there might even be a grocery store. Now, that's the thing that he does when he wants to get somebody on board with something, is he tells the people of Muncie, if you do this, it might even bring a grocery store. With all good and well knowing that it's not going to bring a grocery store. So let's read this. Tax abatement granted for markets on Madison, some tenants in place as work begins. Notice this is April 6th, 2022. Work on turning the former Southway Plaza into markets on Madison has begun. Muncie City Council has approved a 6-year tax abatement for the project. Derek Wilson. All right. For those of you in Muncie, you know Derek Wilson to be one half of the brothers or the twins of slum. Dane and Tank, Stank and Tank Wilson, Dane and Derek, the brothers for the that were in charge of that big blunder at Ball State, and all of the people that lived in all those apartments that were getting screwed over. Okay. So at the time in April, we didn't know who Derek Wilson was. Jump forward in August of 2022, we know who he is, but nobody remembers that he's attached to this thing back in April. All right? See how it goes? Now, being, a year and a half or more removed from this, looking for Brick Red Systems. Well, Brick Red Systems was supposed to be coming from Washington. All right? Let me tell you what led me down this. Let me first tell you what led me down this. I issued a record request to the city of Muncie last week asking for any and all paperwork or email communications that Mayor Ridenour had, the city of Muncie had, with anyone from Brick Red Systems or from anyone in connection with the purchase of this building with Brick Red Systems, emails. Now, listen, understand, they did not buy this building or this property from the city of Muncie. So I know good and well that the city would not have like that kind of paperwork. But the fact that the mayor was instrumental in running this in and getting this scheme figured out and doing all of this stuff, okay, oops. Hold on, I better let him know I called by accident. Listen. Hey. I called you by accident. I just didn't want to hang up.
All right, bye.
Bye. Now she'll hear herself on that phone and she'll be mad at me. That was my grandmother. Okay, so anyways. Yeah, Kate, there should be emails out there somewhere. So I issued this record request last week, and I received back an email today from the city of Muncie telling me the following. Here's a response from the mayor's office regarding purchasing information of Southway Plaza. There are no documents relating to the sale of Southway Plaza. There have been no funds paid to Brick Red and no monies received by the city. Thank you. What? What? How's this possible? So then I remember Audie talking to me a while back and talking to me about how something hinky what's going on with the names. And I know everything he was talking to me about. I was going over it with him. But at the time when you're going over it and he's on the phone and I'm in the car and he's telling me, well, if I'm not looking at it, it doesn't specifically mean anything to me. I'm somebody that I've got to be looking at it. I've got to have my hands on it, or I've got to be looking at it to know what the hell is going on. So let's take a look at this Southway Plaza on Beacon. I know Kate did this. Kate did this last night or the night before. She looked it up, and we see that it's Top Star Realty Group. All right. Well, let's take a look at this for a second. Okay. You got to get your pencils out and pens out. We got to write some stuff down together, or keep this in your noggin if you're playing along at home. Okay, that's probably most important. Top Star Realty Group bought this property in November of 2021. So Top Star, November 1st, 2021. Now that's pretty amazing, because in January of 2022, 2 months later, the mayor puts forward an ordinance to turn that area into an economic revitalization target area. Okay. So did Top Star know that ahead of time? No, it's in the city limits. It's in the city limits. It's definitely inside the city limits. Yeah, nothing, Kate. It's wild. It's wild. That's what they're saying anyways. So Top Star got lucky. It's like a lot of these people that deal with Mayor Ridenour just happen to get lucky. They happen to buy a property just 2 months before the city of Muncie is interested in doing some nonsense with it. So Top Star buys this November 2021. Who had it before Top Star? Okay, before Top Star, a company called 1340 East 9th Street Realty Corp had it. Well, when did they buy it? They bought it 9/7 of 16. Okay. Southway Center LLC, they bought it in December of 2011. I'm really only worried about those top two names. All right. So if we go up here and we look up Top Star Realty by going to the Indiana Secretary of State. Indiana Secretary of State business search. Top Star Realty. And you Google search it, or you Indiana Secretary of State search it. All right. Top Star Realty Group. We see they're located at 3705 South Madison Street. All right, we're going to click on this. Hopefully it doesn't kick me out again. All right, we click on this, and we find out that Top Star Realty Group, registered agent, is Janet Horvath at 1251 North Eddy Street, Suite 203, South Bend, Indiana. Top Star Realty. Okay. Let's pull open another Indiana Secretary of State business search. And let's also look up give me 1 second here. Why does that keep happening? Okay. So if we look at 1340 East 9th Street, Realty Corp. This is a foreign for-profit corporation. Okay. This is governing person Samuel Pinter, 184 New Egypt Road, Lakewood, New Jersey. Registered agent is Nathan Schwartz, 108 South Gray Road, Connorsville. Now, what were you saying about this the other night, Kate?
I didn't have anything to say about this one.
Who were you talking? What were you talking about?
I was talking about Top Star and Dove Realty.
Okay, what's Dove Realty?
Well, you give me a second. I can share my screen.
That's where I was trying to find what Dove Realty was.
I looked them up. So if we switch out our screens here, Dove Realty, and look at the registered agent.
Okay, Dove Realty is Janet Horvath.
Now, do you have Top Star up?
Yeah, and Top Star is here. This is Top Star.
Governing agent.
And it's Janet Horvath at 1251 North Eddy Street.
Right.
And yours is Dove Realty, Janet Horvath at 130 South Main Street, Suite 400.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Look at the dates of creation. Okay,
so the date of creation on Dove Realty is 10/18/2021, and the date of creation of mine was 10/16/2021. So 2 days apart. But how does Dove Realty Google into
Top Star?
Yeah, how do those relate?
Well, if you go back to your beacon.
Yeah.
So you open that back up for me.
Okay.
Okay, and you have the map of this. Go back to the map. Can you look at the map for me again?
Yep.
Okay, so we've got that in the green. You see that there? That's Topstar, right?
Yep.
Okay, now you've got the roads that border, and you've got a triangle down at the bottom.
Yep.
That is Dove.
Okay.
Now the corner up at the left,
Right here.
top left,
Yeah.
Dove,
Yeah. And over here.
and over there.
Yeah.
So
And that would be the entirety of the property.
that's the entirety of that property. It's owned by two entities that have the same governing agent. And those two companies were started 2 days apart, and they were started, 12 days before the purchase of the property. Does that seem familiar?
Yeah, absolutely.
Seems to be a running joke in Muncie.
Yeah.
Let's start a company and then buy a piece of property 10 days later, and then we'll unload it for a huge profit.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
But the weird thing is that nowhere in this do you see anything that the property is sold to Red Brick.
Well, okay, so what they're going to come out and say, and I guarantee you, what they're going to come out and say is, well, no, they didn't buy it. They're just leasing it. Okay, and so what the game here they're playing is that they're saying is that that Red Brick is buying or is leasing like this section of the building or this section of the building. And there's nothing out there that says that. There's nothing out there that tells that information. Okay.
And if it's through a private entity, it wouldn't be public record, a lease agreement. But
yeah.
Here's my question. Why do you lease a property? They said that the cost of the project was going to be $5 million.
Yeah.
Why would I dump $5 million into a property that I don't own?
Right. That is absolutely asinine. Well, now here is where now
and then here's the other problem. If they're leasing it, isn't the owner the one that's responsible for the property tax?
Well,
not the leaser.
Yeah, right. Absolutely. Well, so then, all right. So that's where then this is going to look strange. Okay. So let me pull.
Are you done with me?
Yeah. I mean, be close if you'll be around.
I will.
Just interested in your opinion on this, but not.
Okay.
You're good for a minute. All right. So that is May of 2022. Let me find which one this is. This is public hearing in April. And this is resolution in April. Okay. So watch this. In January of 2022, so 3 months after Dove and Top Star Realty became companies, and 2 months after Top Star bought those places were bought. Okay, well, when did Dove buy? Click. I didn't ever look and see when Dove bought it. Okay, so Dove also bought it on that day. Dove bought it on 11/1. Okay. So now we look at 2 months after it was bought and 3 months after those companies became companies, the city of Muncie goes into a council meeting on January 10th and puts forward Ordinance 1-22, designation of economic development target area, Southway Plaza. Common Council of City of Muncie authorizes under the provisions of Indiana Code, blah, 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 to designate up to 15% of the total geographic territory of the City of Muncie as an economic development target area for the purposes of described herein, and in an area of the City of Muncie which has been devoted to commercial use, has been distressed, and is in need of inductments for new development, is shown on inducement of new development is shown on the map attached as Exhibit A, and including the real estate parcels identified in attached Exhibit B, both of which are incorporated herein by reference, collectively the Southway Plaza area. And whereas designated as an EDTA, will allow new improvements within the Southway Plaza area to receive tax abatement upon designation as an economic revitalization area under Indiana Code, Whereas the Muncie Economic Development Commission has favorably recommended the Southway Plaza area be designated as an EDTA, whereas the council has considered the recommendations of the commission and has conducted a complete and proper investigation of the Southway Plaza area and determined that the area qualifies as an EDTA under Indiana statutes. Therefore, it is found and determined and ordained by the city council that Southway Plaza area has become undesirable or impossible for normal development and occupancy because of lack of development, cessation of growth, deterioration of improvements or character of occupancy, age, obsolescence, substandard buildings, or other factors that have impaired values or prevent a normal development of property for use of property. That the Southway Plaza area is hereby designated as an economic development target area under provisions of Indiana Code, and that this ordinance shall be in full force and effect from and after its passage by the council and such publications as may be required by law. And then it's voted on, and that happens. All right. Now, you don't hear anything about Brick Red. You don't hear anything about Top Star Realty. You don't hear anything about Dove. Nothing like that. Okay. It is what it is. Now, that we'll pull that back up in there and leave that how that is. And we will now go to the meeting in April. All right. The meeting in April takes us to Resolution 822. Resolution 822. Here we go. Common Council of the City of Muncie, Indiana, Preliminary Economic Revitalization Area. Real Estate Tax Abatement. Top Star Realty Group. Okay? So in April, let's see who brought this before the council. Okay. Oh, see, this is so very strange. Okay. Application for tax abatement, real property. Okay. Property owner. So owner of the property is listed as PANKAJMOHINDRU. And they live at or have business at 2509 152nd Avenue Northeast, Redmond, Washington, 98052. All right. Let's find out where that is exactly. Two 509 152. Okay, here we are.
No, wait a second.
Yep.
The company is listed as Top Star Realty Group.
What?
The name of the company is
Uh-huh.
Top Star Realty Group.
Yep.
But the property owner is listed as the CEO of Red Star, Red Brick, or Brick Red, or whatever the hell it is.
I don't know. Well, it says, you see what it says right there? Let me pull this out here. It says Muncie City Council Economic Development Commission. Let me blow this up. Okay. And it says Top Star
Mohindru.
What?
Pankaj Mohindru, Director of Brick Red Systems.
Where does it say that at?
It's in the article that was published on March 2nd. Southway Plaza is a perfect property to redevelop in South Muncie, as this is a major entryway from Muncie, says Pankaj Mohindru, Director of Brick Red Systems.
Yep, and here is where that address comes back to.
So, but he's listed as a property owner, but he's not listed as having an interest in Top Star.
Right.
So what the heck?
Well, that's what I would like to know.
Meanwhile, your chat, if you're paying any attention, is having a very in-depth discussion about wrestling.
I have not even. Is Teresa in there?
No.
I have no clue. I think a wrestler beat somebody in Muncie.
Oh.
I don't know what. I haven't got that far down in the. I haven't got to that part of the newspaper yet. I read the article. Creepy the Clown beat somebody.
Oh, okay. He didn't
beat Dan Ridenour, so I wasn't looking.
Oh, okay. No, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. It's just weird that the company they have listed is not the same one, but the gentleman who's listed is the one that they keep talking about.
Yeah, so I don't understand
who actually owns it.
Yeah.
And is Brick Red involved in this Top Star? I don't understand.
And Brick Red Systems, if you look at Brick Red Systems, and if I put in like where do they live, where do they work, where do they be, where do they stay?
Well, yeah, and then you run into the issue if their headquarters is in Washington State, then they should be listed as a foreign company. Are they doing a Lisa? They're saying their address is here when they're actually somewhere else.
Well, and what? Where's their Where are they saying they're at? Their building is, it's one of those things that their building is a storage device, a storage barn. It's kind of like, thank you, no thank you.
Dan versus Jeff in a wrestling match sponsored by Top Star. A free event. All proceeds from concessions go to taxpayer funds and relief. That's in the comments. Ryan's having some fun.
Now that is a wrestling deal I could get behind.
Oh, yes. Yes. Joey might have an idea here.
What?
Pay to see the event. He said, I'd pay to see that. Fuck elections. Meet in the ring and the winner takes office.
Yeah, winner takes all. Takes office.
Yeah, and you could use all the money for, as they said, taxpayer relief, along with the concessions. That's amazing.
That is pretty good.
This is why a council needs to see who we're getting into bed with. Thank you, Audie.
I'm incensed at the mayor's answer that they don't have anything. So here's the building. We can't really see where it is or what the deal is, but here is Brick Red Systems is where we're looking here. This is, oh no, not this. Sorry. This is where Panjanky Mondaru or whatever lives. This right here at 2509 152nd Avenue in Redmond. And he then owns Brick Red Systems here in Bellevue, Washington.
And here's another case where Dan could simply say, let's sit down so we can explain this, how this is working to you.
Yeah. So what I think I'm going to do, Danny, who the hell knows? Nobody knows. Nobody even knows who these people are. No one's seen them, no one has seen these people. I'm going to call Brick Red Systems right now.
Oh, again?
Yeah.
Good luck.
What's this? This is inside. This is what it looks like inside of Brick Red Systems. See what they say here. Hold on. Okay. Let's go back here and get the phone number again. Brick Red Systems. Brick Red Systems is 425 243 7 4 3 9. This says Seattle, Washington. Now, this is a different number than where I called last time.
Hi, you have reached the system.
That tracks. Hello, I'm calling for Pancakja Mondihydruja, whatever. If you could please give me a call at 765 I would appreciate it. You could call me, and I'm interested in your interest in a building here in Muncie, Indiana. You could please give me a call. I would appreciate it. I am calling you at 10:23 my time. I don't know what time that is, your time. But I am calling you. It's Eastern time that I'm calling you. So please, you can call me at any time, 24 hours a day. I've been trying to get a hold of you for several weeks. Thank you very much and have a great day. Bye. Now, for the record, ladies and gentlemen, I've called them at all hours of the day, night time, whatever. Okay, so Jackie, good question. The paperwork all says Top Star Realty. However, on the paperwork, for the actual abatement, it has Brick Red people listed. And the newspaper has it listed as Brick Red. But yet, when I ask for records relating to anything as it relates to Brick Red Systems, the mayor responds with they have nothing responsive to that request. So when I got that, I sent back a follow-up and said, okay, same request, but now for Top Star Realty. So I will ask them what's going on with that, and we'll try to get to the bottom of that. The bottom line, folks, is it should not be this difficult to get information from our elected officials on what is going on with some of these projects. It's been over a year. What's going on with the Muncie, the old Chevy plant? It's been several months since Michael's Place left Muncie. What's going on with that field? What's going on with Till Pond? Does anybody remember when Ridenour used to hang Till Pond over District 3's head all the time? Used to tell him all the time. Matter of fact, ladies and gentlemen, the meeting, does anybody remember in June of this year when the mayor wanted a $3.5 million bond? June of 2022, that year rather, not this year. In June of 2022, when the mayor wanted a $3.5 million bond, and he said that out of that $3.5 million, 40% of it would go to phase 2 riverfront property. 17% would go to Columbus Walnut Street, Learn McKinney neighborhood. 13% of it would go to Southway Plaza. The Southway Plaza, remember? $400,000 Ridenour put towards the Southway Plaza. So when the city of Muncie responds to my record request and they tell me that the city of Muncie has not paid funds to Brick Red and no money's been receipted to the city. Okay, maybe you didn't pay it to Brick Red. But did you pay it to Top Star? And if I ask you if you paid it to Brick Red, you knowing damn good and well that you've been calling Southway Plaza Brick Red Systems and you paid it to Top Star instead, and you're just playing word games on that, that is low down, cold, dirty. So I'm telling everybody, making it clear, shouting it from the rooftops. I'm asking, is there anybody in here? Let me ask you, Jackie, do you recall, as a listener, I don't care what Kate said because I know what Kate's going to say. I don't care what Brandon says because I know what Brandon's going to say. I don't care what Audie says because I know what Audie will say. I want to know if you or if anyone else here will remember when I asked Mayor Ridenour about the 10 or 15 different times what body gave him the authority to buy the Chevy property. Does anybody outside of Kate and Brandon and Audie and my direct people, does anybody remember me saying that? Does any viewers from last year or the year before, does anybody remember me saying that? Jackie, do you remember that? Elizabeth Edgell, if you're here, do you remember that? Chris Bunner, do you remember that? Any of you people? The reason I ask that is I was very outspoken about it. And now it's like some big ordeal. I was like, I was lying the whole time. And, how dare me lie? Like, up yours, because I asked and you guys led me astray. So now the question is, I'm going to spray paint it on the side of City Hall. I'm asking, who did they give money to at Southway Plaza? I don't care who the name is. I don't care what you call them. I don't care if it was Dane and Tank and Stank. That was, that was pre-Alva. I don't care if it was Midwest Properties or Muncie Properties or Wilson Brothers or the Stank Brothers or the Taint Brothers or the Brothers of Slum. I don't care if it was Brick Red or Red Brick or Yellow Brick. And I don't care if it was Top Star or Dove Star or Dovetail or Go to Hell. I don't care who it is. Did the city of Muncie give money to that place on Southway Plaza? And if we didn't, do that, where did that $400 go? $400,000 go to? No, okay, so Chris, The $400,000 that I'm talking about in this went somewhere to the city of Muncie to help beautify it, to help bring green spaces in, to help make it possibly welcoming to a restaurant outside, or to help possibly bring a grocery store in to help beautify it. That's the current question on hand that I'm asking the Ridenour administration. And so far, they've answered it with a lie of omission today. They answered me and they lied. They lied. So they're trying to walk me down another path where I'm going to come on here and be like, well, they don't have anything. They're doing something funny. And then what they're going to do is they're going to come out and they're going to say, oh, ho, ho, well, look at Bilbrey. He lied. He's pulling another Chevy plant deal. I have no respect. Listen to me. People out there, people of the world. Anybody in Dan Ridenour, I don't care. Nobody. Mike Jones was a paste-eating. I don't know. Maybe he went to high school. Maybe he did, and he got out. He worked in a factory, and he moved up in the union of the factory. Congratulations. You were a big fish in a small pond. You helped some people out. You did some good stuff in your day. You're now a has-been holding on to just a little bit so that you can stay relevant, so that you can help keep your kids and your kids-in-law on the government tit. That's what you're doing. I don't care what your opinion is of me. But I want to be very clear. I don't respect Ridenour, and I don't care if he doesn't think about it, or I don't care if he likes it or don't like it. I don't care if it doesn't mean anything to him. But Ridenour and that crew is deserving of zero respect. They're public servants that are liars, purposefully lying and deceiving and maligning the information and the truth. I don't know how anyone like that can be given respect. And someone like that feels like they have some kind of wind behind their back to say, well, look at Kristopher Bilbrey, he's no nothing. Or look at Audie Barber, he's a blah, blah, blah. You know what? Audie Barber is the most honest man that is currently walking. Audie Barber is honest to a fault. Those people don't have anything on Audie Barber. I don't care how much money they have in their bank. I don't care how special their friends sit around and tell them that they are. They're liars. It's just nuts. All right. So that's what we're on. I am on a massive hunt to find out what the hell is going on with this project. I want to know what's going on with this project. I want to know who got the tax abatement. I want to know who got the $400,000. Audie, I'll be real honest. I agree with you, man. And I normally I normally don't get into questioning people all like that, but I have seen too much out of these people. And I know that people say, "Oh, he's a good guy. He's a good guy." Listen. No. He's not. No, he's not. What? What's Jackie doing? E.T. E.T. Yeah. So, yeah, it is. Absolutely. That is the absolute best segue into what's going on with Sheriff Sproles. Now, for those of you that are here from Henry County that want to know what's going on with Sproles, I'm getting ready to launch into this, and we're going to go through this. It's going to be crazy. I just want to tell the people of Muncie this real briefly to wrap up with Muncie. Number one, the Republicans got together last night and patted themselves on the back, told themselves how special they were. J.D. Prescott got together and looked like a weasel in every picture that he was in. I don't even understand. They're so creepy. They're so bizarre. It's beyond bizarre what goes on. Oh no. Hold on. Pause. Oh, holy shit. We got derailed here just 1 second because I didn't know this was out. We got to look at this. This was Oh, no, I thought this was new. Okay, let's look at this. This was just sent to me. Dan Ridenour, step 1, a commitment of truth. One commitment I am making to each of you for when I take office as mayor in Muncie on January 1st, 2020, is that you will know exactly what your Muncie government is up to. Under the current administration, this has not always been the case. Since I announced my candidacy for mayor on August 15th, 2018, my message has remained the same. First, above all else, I will create an honest and open government. Under my direction as mayor of Muncie, we will operate as an honest, open, high-performance city organization that strives for excellence. I will dramatically increase transparency, and this is how. 1, I will develop a comprehensive city community plan and protocol that promotes greater accountability, effectiveness, and efficiency. This will include a monthly meeting and greet and meet with the mayor at various city locations, often at neighborhood association meetings in the evenings so public can more easily attend. These events will allow the public to ask their questions and receive real answers. 2, the city communication plan will also require that each department present a report to the city council twice per year. This report will include a review of the department budgets year to date, include highlights and the accomplishments achieved so far, and include a review of any challenges. These presentations will allow the council to ask questions and should enhance communication with the legislative branch. That happened one time. I will improve honesty in our Muncie's government by creating public access to all city documents each month. City council documents will be available online to every citizen who wants them. This will include the full agenda, meeting minutes, and ordinances, resolutions, and attachments. Access to these documents will occur for all citizens and the city council at the exact same time, instant, online. Anyone who wants to know what the city is doing will be able to easily find out. Bullshit. 4, a need for better transparency requires that I request that all the city council committees consist of at least 5 members going forward. That's not happened. He has no control over that. I don't even understand why he would say such a stupid ass thing. He has no say in that. But I agree with that. But that's not happened. The combining of committees to more easily handle city business, that could not happen. That would be a quorum every time. They can't. That's nuts. Interesting. I mean, I would be fine with that. They should just call meetings every time. I don't know. I'm fine with that. That would just have to, it would be interesting how it would have to happen. Each committee should be bipartisan appointments, hold 100% public meetings, and have published minutes. I cannot require this action, but would expect that the new council will want to provide a totally transparent legislative branch. I believe this to be necessary policy considering the last several years. Five, I will establish a regularly scheduled quarterly meeting between the city of Muncie, Yorktown, Albany, Daleville, Eaton, and Delaware County officials in order to foster successful collaboration and improved communication.
This is the biggest bullshit lie I've heard yet. This is fabulous.
Yeah, right. It's hilarious. This meeting will begin that healing process. The steps described above represent the first of 5 commitments I will make to each Muncie resident. Under my direction as mayor, secrecy will be a thing of the past. Muncie will have a totally open and honest government. Ridenour gets an F because of all of that. He gets an F on everything there. All right. Now, just briefly to finish up, the Republicans got together last night. They tried making each other feel good. It was ridiculous. Jessica Piper, who gave herself her own award last year, the Whitehead Award for Kay Whitehead, ended up giving it to her mother this year, which is nonsense. They kicked somebody out because they're not transparent. And just Ridenour said that he got up and he did a speech and he said that he wants a full council. He wants to have a 7, 8, or 9-person Republican council. And then he stopped and said, or I mean an 8-person council. So he was obviously either taking a swipe at Roe Selby or taking a swipe at Andrew Pop. Either one, it's bullshit. He's a Republican. I don't know what his deal is. He should be hoping for a 9-person Republican council. They're not going to get that. He's an idiot. They're idiots. Anyone following that thought process is ignorant. Okay, on to Sheriff Sproles. I'm going to be following the situation. We have a lot to go with it still, and if there's a way to bring this information out and something's going on here, I'm going to bring it to the light, and I'm going to burn Dan's political career down with it. Let me say that again. If I can figure this information out on what's going on with these economic development flubs, I am going to burn Muncie Mayor Dan Ridenour's political career down with this crap. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, the Henry County Sheriff's Department continues to prove time and time again that they are absolutely ridiculous. They yesterday, the commissioners got together and the commissioners met. And I attended that meeting. I got there and I sat there and I was greeted by lots of different people in the audience. And I noticed that the sheriff wasn't there. And I thought, oh, he's playing it low key. All right, this is going to be okay. And his chief deputy was there. Now, his chief deputy is a good guy. His chief deputy is really intelligent. His chief deputy is kind. His chief deputy is smart and knows how the game is played. He's been a law enforcement officer for a number of years. So he knows what's going on. Okay. However, folks, Captain Pierce was there. I think his name is Matt or Mike. I don't know if it's Matt or Mike. I don't know which one it is, but it's Pierce. It's Captain Pierce. It's the bigger, chunkier, bald head guy that's always with him. And he got up and he showed his ass.
From 38 to Trojan Lane elimination.
Groups that do that are going to go, okay, and
Kind of success at the
Christopher, nobody can hear you, honey.
it'll be a continuous.
You can't hear me?
Down 3.
The audio's off on the screen too, I think.
What do you mean?
Ugh. Can't hear the meeting?
You can't hear me at all?
Oh, I could hear you, but you were kind of like cutting in and out. It was kind of going robotic for a bit there almost. Let me wire myself. Hit the meeting. Yeah, the audio's in and out.
I've made my comments known to the traffic or the design engineer. And
I could see my 83-year-old mother trying to do it.
Okay. Sorry to interrupt. There were comments, so
No, you're fine. So you don't hear me or them?
now
No,
you're
pop up
fine,
back
hon.
here. I can't see you. What's happening?
You are fine now. We can hear you, and I can hear the audio on the video.
Okay.
The meeting's a little quiet.
I know. I'm looking at that's unfortunately. Let me see if there's something I can do. So unfortunately, their meetings are junk. Their equipment is junk. Give me 1 second here.
Well, Joe Tompkins says you're 10-2 here,
Okay.
whatever that means.
Good.
He says, Alva, your audio's fine. We just can't hear what they're saying in the meeting.
Okay. Yeah.
And Mama Kay says the same thing. But you were
That's what I
breaking up
thought.
really badly for me. Maybe it's just my machine
I think it was just
or
you.
my fantastic JD internet.
Okay, let me see if I can get this sound louder. Give me 1 second here.
And since you're farting around with that, I know you're not watching comments, so I'll stay up here in case anybody's got anything really juicy to say.
Yeah, if you could do that, that would help.
Oh, that's lovely. JD, screw the plebs. Screw the plebs. Press start. I haven't seen that term in a long time. The meeting audio is foobar.
Yeah.
Well, that's what happens when you borrow your audio equipment from the Boss Hogs.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Damn it. Okay. Hold on here a second.
Oh, we used a lot more than just foobar in the Army. Bohica, snafu, tarfu.
Okay, let's see if I can do this here. From URL.
That's a name I've not heard in a long time.
Okay.
Diane says that when the sheriff's department comes up, the audio is better.
Okay. Because they of course are yelling.
Oh, well, yeah. Yeah, snafu is pretty good. I think that in all things regarding government, I think probably Bohica is the most appropriate for use, though.
All right, hold on. Nope, it's doing it. It's letting me it's letting me increase the volume. So stand by here just one moment, folks. It's letting me increase the volume. While we're doing this, I'm going to tell you. So what we're going to watch is we're going to watch a few minutes of the Henry County Council meeting from yesterday, and we're going to watch a little bit of their meeting today. Now, I got to be honest, Sproles didn't get up. He didn't call anybody bitches. He didn't kick the table. He didn't act crazy. He wasn't at the meeting yesterday. He did attend yesterday was a commissioner's meeting. He did attend the council meeting today. However, what reflects poorly on him, what reflects poorly on the sheriff's department, and what reflects poorly on Henry County is the fact that, number one, his guys went to the commissioner's meeting, and while Josh Smith, the chief deputy, was polite, Matt Pierce stormed away. It was ridiculous. It was stupid, and he acted like a child. He got up there, and they were backwards. They actually showed that they're bigger and better than he is, because the way that they treated him, I would have been like, nope, we're not going to do this. But they even eventually gave in and said, we will help you a little bit more than what we planned on. And they did. The big thing that happened in today's meeting was the fact that the sheriff went to this meeting and he took his parents and all of the sheriff's department was there in the courtroom. I had so many county employees, county department heads, and folks from Henry County reaching out to me saying, did we not have coverage on the road during this meeting? Did he have all of his entire department? I even heard that guys were told they had to come in if it was their day off. That he made people come in on their day off to sit in solidarity in the courtroom.
And they came in full uniform with weapons, correct?
Yep.
That's not intimidation or anything.
Absolutely. That's exactly what it is. So his behavior is he's maybe learning to tone it down a smidge.
Tone it down with guns, though?
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, look, county deputies always have guns if they're in uniform, so it's not like
yeah, but you show up with 20 dudes with guns to a meeting?
Yeah, right.
That's
not
that's exactly what they did. Anything.
Yeah. No. It's not. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Okay, so this thing is still downloading. I'm going to try and see this and hope that maybe this will work with their audio. So we're going to try this out here.
Okay, let us know how it works, everybody, so I can get the heck off of here.
And markings, sheriff markings, they're black vehicles. They're outfitted. To outfit a vehicle is about $7,000 with all the lighting and the markings on it. So when you consider that, and the unusually low mileage that these vehicles have, it's a very good deal. The sheriff is asking that you all consider $65,000 out of ARPA to purchase those vehicles. Again, it's a very good deal, and just wanted to make you all aware of that. And that'll help us when we have vehicles in the shop.
I was saying you can hear it, but it could be better. Can you amp it up a little more?
No, not at the moment.
So
Okay.
wanted to.
All right, then I'm going to duck out.
Yeah, you're fine. Here comes Matt Pierce.
This would be to give us some pool cars and some reserve cars. Obviously, we rely on reserves a lot. So that would eliminate the car he's driving around today with 250,000. So, and we also, something we don't really talk about a whole lot is we have civil process. We have our transport officers. Those vehicles put on a lot of miles.
How many take-home vehicles are there?
Well, we have, if we are at max capacity, which we're not right now, there would be 28 plus.
Are those? I guess my question is the people that are taking vehicles home, are they still taking vehicle home even though you're short vehicles in other areas, or they don't? I'm just asking a question. Could you please come to the microphone? I'm just trying to figure out how many are there take home?
27 currently.
27 take home?
There's 27 merit deputies, including the sheriff.
I'm sorry.
27
again.
deputies across, including the sheriff.
Okay, and how many are take home?
27.
27. And how many don't have a vehicle to drive right now?
1.
So have we thought about not having the least currently to get you through right now, that the least seniority person that has a take-home vehicle, they don't necessarily have a take-home vehicle and they share it with somebody else?
Now listen to what she's saying there. She's not saying for the rest of time. She's simply saying until we get through this crazy period, until we can get you up to speed with the cars, do we think that the man with the least seniority, oh wait, that's the sheriff. Do we think that the man with the least seniority could maybe not take his take-home car home, and he could come in and he could drive, and then at the end of his shift, he could park his car, and he could drive home in his personal vehicle, his POV, and then the other next guy that doesn't have a vehicle could come in and drive that guy's car. And then he could come home and he could park it, and vice versa. That would take care of the problem. And they act just completely incensed, like, what? There's no way we could do that. That's what I'm going to look into, Jackie. That's a good question. It's really normal, Nicole, it's normal for sheriff's departments, It's generally normal for sheriff departments, yes. City, not necessarily always. But even the city of Muncie, I think, mostly does now. But the sheriff's departments, yes. All right, moving on.
On shift?
Sorry. You saying leave one vehicle up there like we used to do at the city for pool vehicles?
Mhm. I mean, have we thought about, okay,
I mean,
We have a- we have
it's
a-
a temporary
they- they-
solution.
a temporary solution to get you through? Because you're saying that you don't have enough cars for everybody.
Because this is not going to happen overnight. I mean, you're not going to get a vehicle.
We'll be able
once
to
you walk out
resolve
the
that
door.
issue. We have
Resolve that
we
issue.
have 4 vehicles we purchased from last year. They're ordered by the last administration. 3 of those are currently on the road.
What?
Or where?
Currently
Road.
out on the road on patrol.
Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't hear
We
that.
were using safety systems in Richmond, Indiana, which we've used for several years to do our maintenance or our upfitting. Thanks to the way it's going now, they got basically overextended, and the car we purchased in April is still waiting to be upfitted. Once we can get that car upfitted, the one missing car on the road will be taken care of. That will resolve itself at this point. The only reason I came up was I looked at the proposal for the lease on the vehicles. My only problem with 5 years is if we extend 12 cars for 5 years, we're gonna have 12 high mileage cars at 5 years, which are gonna require that additional maintenance. Is that?
Yeah, but then you turn them in and you get new
Just
cars.
Depends on how much you're driving the cars and what the mileage would be and who considers what high mileage, because
200,000 I consider high, 150 I consider high for a police car. For a personal car that doesn't drive on the county roads at the speeds we're required to do, I could make a car last probably 300,000 miles if I got a good quality car.
I was going to say, because if you rode with me, you
But-
would understand I get 200,000 to 300,000 out of mine, and I probably.
But I'm also not calling you at 3 in the morning when somebody's breaking my house. Steve, get over here as fast as you can as safely.
And I would be there.
Well, if you were to get involved in an accident, what you've alluded to our guys doing, you would be in some pretty serious issues. But that's beside the point. I do like this. I like looking at other sources for purchasing cars. I think Shannon sent me something. I sent something out to a place that specifically loans to governments for
Listen.
equipment, whether it be county highways or sheriff's departments or schools. So we're definitely exploring other options. It's just not
That was
one and
just one
done.
that,
And I do, this is awesome. I appreciate it. It's obviously it's built in just like ours, but unfortunately we could go get Durangos for 3,000 less than this. So it'd actually be better to go that way. But anyway, I do like this, but 5 years on 12 cars, my only concern would be when they all start hitting year 4 and 5, what we're looking at on maintenance, because we've taken a huge hit in maintenance in the last year because we've outsourced it to local businesses.
And I understand that, but you're asking for, when leasing, you guys were asking for 9 cars, and that's going to do the same thing.
But
Even
we were-
if you bought it, I'm not talking leasing, anytime you buy a bunch of vehicles at once, you're going to have the same issue unless you're trading them
We
in.
weren't going to keep the lease cars. for
Well,
5
but you
years.
can trade. You don't have to keep 12 vehicles for 5 years. You can trade in.
But if we come to you guys and say, hey, listen, it's going to be X number after year 4, 3, 4, 5, and 6, literally coming for anything, and not to be a nasty thing, it's been a fight. So I feel like when year 4 comes and we go, hey, we need more money, well, it's
Well,
not there.
in
Okay,
year
see,
4,
we'll
there's
just-
not
we'll
going to
just
be any
roll
art
on.
money,
I was
but
going
that's
to say
council.
this, and this is I guess the issue, because the art money.
There it goes.
won't Be there.
Oh, right,
So
it's gone.
After
Oh,
this year, this one-time thing,
I understand.
so we're trying to figure out what you're planning on doing next year, the year after, or in year 5.
And the $200,000, if it's approved from the art money, has to be expended, all of it,
By
by 2026.
Joe,
that's a
you're
few
right.
years from now.
Watch.
We have to have it appropriated by 2024, and it has to be spent by 2026.
So we don't have to spend it this year, it just has to be appropriated.
Yes.
Correct.
Okay, all right. So, but no, I do like this. I do like looking at other ways to fund cars. That was my only concern, was the length, because at 5
And
years.
the only
from now, we
reason the
start
length
getting-
was on there was
To lower the
because
payments.
that got your payments
Right.
down to
3 years
what the
sound good,
council.
but the payments don't sound good. 3
No.
years sounds good to us because it gets us kind of out of the maintenance and issues,
Mhm.
but it comes with a cost, and that's with everything. And
And then, there's the other option. You could just go 8 cars, which gets your payments down. Like I
Right.
said, these were just several options that I threw out there that, was given to me. And I thought, hey, it was worth exploring, looking into. And the price on those vehicles seemed to be fairly reasonable. I thought, hey, it's an option.
And I think the way it was done in the past, and the reason it was done in the past was for this exact thing, that you're, in that 5 years, you're building $40,000 of interest into purchasing those 12 cars, which in the past has been looked like that's a car. Like, when you look at finances, so if purchasing cars
But
outright,
financing gets you more, buying outright gets you less.
I'm
So,
well aware, but what I'm saying is,
which is why 4 cars, because they were buying outright.
thank you.
Just circling.
And
back
there he
to my
goes.
Original question, if that's something the commissioners would be willing to
I think I would have said, hello, you're not
discuss
done here.
and possibly
I've
if
not
you'll
dismissed you.
type up that resolution. I will not take any more of your time. That
Come
would
on
be
back
an
here.
official request.
I guess we can discuss it when we get to the ARP resolution.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I just, so
Debbie, do you have anything?
he did all right. Josh Smith did all right.
Nobody from the
But
park? Joey,
I just cannot believe
Lisa?
that,
Butch?
What's that? Oh, I still don't like it. But okay.
I know normally I say, no, I don't have anything, but I'm sorry, this time I do. But I'll make it short. Got 2 issues I want to bring to your attention. That's all I'm doing is bringing it to your attention. Just so you'll be knowledgeable.
I just cannot believe that he did
Might
that.
Be a little bit knowledgeable about the one, but I'm not sure if anybody's actually.
Yeah,
seen any paperwork
Josh
on it.
Josh Smith is polite. There's no wrong. I've got no problem with Josh. But I don't like that Matt Pierce the Private Gomer Pyle looking dude gets all mad like that. I mean, he just gets Sproles is teaching the men on the sheriff's department that he don't want them saying the F word, but he's okay if they blow their stack and blow up on somebody. It's ridiculous. No. You're exactly right, Joey. Absolutely. All right. Here we go. Here we go into the meeting from today. Now, unfortunately, because of how
Let's start the
camera is set,
which
you don't see that the sheriff
should
brought his
be-
parents
and bring recommendations.
and he has the entirety of the department there. But I can assure you that almost the entirety of the sheriff's department was there. And
years have built that up.
Sproles brought. Why is Sproles' parents here?
That should keep it pretty steady.
My
and
dad said, you got to
also
give me these
recommended we do that
cars.
This year, I'd cost us $41,000 next year. Matrix, for sure, employees. It is up to the council how best to tweak those.
My point is, we made changes in the budget to try to appropriately use the
Right.
jail lit and the public safety lit to accommodate what could be paid out of those lit
Right.
funds.
And
And we've done that.
I agree. We still have, I'm looking at the bottom line, the operating balance percentage, we're still hovering over 60%.
I completely agree.
And, and last year we got supplemental lit, which I understand we cannot count on,
Correct.
of 141,000. So we're in good shape. It's taken 5 years of sharpening our pencils, but finally.
That's
I think
exactly
we're in
right,
good shape.
Jackie.
We can give raises that are deserving.
That's a
of our
dangerous thing for a cop to do. That's a
employees.
dangerous precedent for us to
We've not been
allow
able
them to
do
think that that's okay.
safely until this year. We would be digging into reserves slightly, but every year we've done a balanced budget. The next year, it's gone up from 0% in 2019, Susan, to 7%.
Right, Joey?
15%, 20%, 20%, 29%. And even with the changes in what we're proposing to give, it's up to 32%. I'm looking at page 3, which gives us the 6 months that is recommended. So even with a 5% salary increase, and it'd be about 8% for probation because that's set by law, Indiana. We do have monies for a good matrix for the sheriff's department. They have a fairly young, especially road deputies, a young staff that requires a lot of training. I do think that our veteran employees need a better bump in longevity, because I don't think 200 is much of an incentive to stick around for long periods of time. Also, it caps at 1,000, and I think 1,500 is much more enticing with inflation than what 1,000 is. And the fact that it only costs 41,000, I think we figured that the matrix next year for sheriff would cost us 21,000. Is that? I think that's what I had down. Which is about what it cost us to give a 50% per hour increase each of the last 2 years. And I'm not recommending that, but it's up for consideration. That's up to the council to discuss. But I'm just saying, we have checked and double checked, and we have monies to give a 5% raise for everybody but council, and we have to do what we have to do with probation. And that's keeping the longevity with the probation that we added last year. Again, they are state employees, and I have been told more than once they do not have to operate under our personnel manual. But that is something and it's still not corrected in the personnel manual, but that's another issue because you're going to.
No kidding, Nicole.
Can we talk about the details of the sheriff's matrix? So
Yeah.
2,500
Pull your,
every.
Or your
you
mic
need
on.
your mic on, yeah. Pull it down to you, or maybe you can't.
Right, Diane, that's
It's
true.
not on.
Green light.
Oh, you got a red light. There you go.
There you go.
Okay. Okay, I'll try one more time.
Okay.
The 2,500 every 5 years. Is that what we're saying?
Starting at year 5.
Starting in year 5, and where does it max at?
Yep, that's right,
It's just
Ryan.
like
This
15,000.
sheriff is the one that did that.
That's what we're suggesting. Okay.
Was at 9%, and that reward.
Amount. So with that, I would move that we increase the sheriff's matrix pay for merit officers to the $2,500 every 5 years
Listen,
and increase the longevity to 300 matrix pay would top out at 15,000. Longevity pay would top out at 1,500. That's my motion.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved. Did you second it?
I did.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded for increasing the current longevity for applicable employees from $200 to $300, maxing out at $1,500. It's been moved and seconded that we move the matrix to 2,500, that maxes out at 15,000 after how many years?
I knew you were going to ask me that.
Where's the top out, Josh? 30?
30.
Okay, so twice the number of years to get there than what it does for the longevity employees. Any discussion?
We're just changing. It's per year, the $200 to $300
Instead of
per
bumping
year.
up 200, it bumps up 300 at every third year. Yes.
Yes.
And then that would max out at 1,500 instead of 1,000 as it does now.
And again, I think that needs to be reviewed with Wagner when Shealy is.
Okay. Well,
I think what they need to do is they need to be really careful when they are dealing with this, because they're starting to dive into the reserve, or I guess the rainy day money. I've heard from some folks that said they are in the process of going through the situation of calling and talking with the State Board of Accounts, because they think that they are now doing things that they wouldn't otherwise do, but they feel like they are being bullied by the sheriff. And so people are just coming to the point where they're just trying to get him to shut up, which is a bad precedent to send, because we'll be right back here at this time next year. And we'll be right back here the year after that, unless, hopefully to God, the FBI comes in and scoops him up or something like that happens. Keep in mind, the county is also looking at 2 or 3, possibly 4, maybe more lawsuits as it relates to the sheriff doing completely stupid types of things. So that's not good. And again, what I said all the way back when the 2 deputies went to the commissioners when they put in those mirrors without asking, and they were up there and they were getting hostile, and they were telling the commissioners that, nobody else in the county works the way that we do. You all might work hard around here, but that's not strapping on a gun belt and a badge and a bulletproof vest. I got to wear a bulletproof vest to work when I go to work in the morning. Just, do you wear a bulletproof vest to answer the phones? That kind of behavior. And I even called it then. That was way back in April of this year. I said, whoa, what is Sproles doing? Sproles is teaching these guys that they can just run around here talking to whoever, however the hell they want. And that is not a good habit for him to create. Now jump forward to, the next several months, and we know what all kind of insanity is going on out there. It's not good, folks. It is not good. Now, in answer to Jeremy Godsey's question, I did ask the chief deputy how many process servers Henry County has. And he stated that they have 2 process servers, that they are part-time process servers, and the part-time process servers currently make give me a second here and I'll tell you. Josh Smith. Process servers make $15.76 an hour. $15.76 an hour. I have a request into the auditor's office because they're the ones that do the pay, and they will tell me who it is, the HR department. I think someone told Godsey that it was not public information. That's complete horseshit. It is public information. They have to tell you who is a government employee. They don't have to tell you certain things about the person, but they can't just keep people like that hidden. They might try to keep hidden the names specifically, or put names to faces of drug officers, but there's nothing secret about a process server. So whoever told you that, Mr. Godsey, is an idiot, and I would love for them to tell me something like that. But I will know the answers tomorrow on that for definite. And if and when they tell me that Mark Evan Sproles is a process server, then we're going to have to find out how exactly it is that he's also a reserve for the department, because that would be a problem. So the sheriff is flying, quote unquote, under the radar compared to how he has been being in the last few weeks, months. But he's still out there doing crazy, crazy stuff. Like I said yesterday, I became aware of the fact that he was in the bank and some man was videoing. I actually got a picture of the man. The man doesn't look anything like me. Matter of fact, I'll put it up here on the screen, because the person that took this from private, took this in public. So it's a picture taken in public, just as the man was saying and doing. Second here, I'm going to cut out identifying features of the person who took it. All right, here we go. No, I said he was not working. Okay, right, here we go. Damn, you can't hardly see it. So this is it.
You don't need to see anything more than that. I don't need to see the man's face. His silhouette is far too.
Yeah, I mean,
the silhouette is wrong in some way.
Yeah, I don't know. I was like, I could be the cop.
Yeah, the cop might be a better fit. So we smash you into a vest.
Well, what they said was, though, that the picture's taken in that long, tall aspect ratio. So the cop's really 900 pounds.
Well, this is who is this again? This is the guy who was videoing.
This guy apparently goes around and is a First Amendment auditor in his own mind. And he was videoing Sproles at the bank. And the bank manager came out and asked the guy what he was doing. And the guy was like, I'm videoing. I'm a First Amendment auditor. You can't tell me to stop. Get away from me. Anything I can see from the public sidewalk is fair game, which is true. Everything he said is true. Nothing about that is false. Everything he said is true. I think he does it like some of the First Amendment auditors. He goes out at a 13 rather than starting at a 1, and he's got a chip on his shoulder more than he's trying to prove any kind of point. So it is what it is. But Sproles, armed with the information, went to the bank teller and said, hey, I have a picture of a couple of guys. I'd like you to tell me if it is one of these guys. And he pulls out the phone and he shows him a picture of Civic Duty, Joshua Kimbrell. The guy's like, nope, that's not him. And he pulls out a picture of me. And he says,
I don't
is
know
it
how
him?
anyone could misconstrue that picture for you.
And the guy said, yeah, it's him. And I'm like, why? So I'm putting this down now. Okay, Nicole. So what do you mean in his own mind? In his own mind. No, number one, listen, it's no secret that I am not the biggest fan of First Amendment auditors. I consider myself, I would never use the term auditor. I consider myself, if you're going to say that, a constitutional auditor. And I definitely have fought for the First Amendment. Nobody can say I have not fought for the First Amendment. I've been involved in 2 federal lawsuits over First Amendment violations. I've spent time in the pokey for a First Amendment rights violation. I was a political prisoner for a First Amendment rights violation. Complete and utter bullshit. I will fight for your right to say anything all day long, and I'll say whatever I want anytime, whatever. The problem I have with the First Amendment auditor community is this. If someone's driving down the road and they get pulled over by a police officer and they pull out their camera to video, or they're videoing already, and the officer violates their rights and the guy or the gal inside the car stands up for themselves, or if the guy or the gal is walking down the road and pulls out a camera because they're being harassed and they stand up for themselves, I'm okay with that. If the guy or gal lives in a city and they're doing their thing and they're going to the meetings and they're being involved in their process or whatever, being involved, and they get hassled and they fight back, I'm okay with that. And now pause there. While it is 1,000%, it is 1,000% legal and everything is more than okay with John Doe getting up, getting his camera gear, heading out to the car, and driving 2 hours from his house to some little hole in the wall and saying, oh, look, there's a post office. I'm going to get out and I'm going to video around this post office until somebody has a problem with it and calls the police on me, and then I'm going to cause a stink. They are perfectly in their right to do that, and everything that they say, for the majority of the stuff, the things they say, when they're like, I can do this and blah, 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 and, screw you, that's all legal. But like I say here often, legal what's the law is the floor, not the ceiling. You know, it's like the place you start. It's not necessarily the place you end. If I look at a man that's being harassed, if I see a black man that's driving down the road and he gets pulled over and he's being harassed for being a black man, I am with that guy 1000%. Stand up for fight your rights, do your thing. If I see some white guy or some black guy or some Mexican guy or some Japanese guy that leaves his house to just drive to cause the issue, to then fight the rights, it's just kind of like, all I'm saying is there's so much more important work you could literally be doing if you just stayed at home and figured out who the people in your community were and went to bat with battling those people. If you didn't just pop on YouTube because listen, I'm going to be honest. There is a lot of people out there, and you people can hate me if you want. People can hate me if they so choose. But there's a lot of people out there that they don't give a damn about the Constitution. They don't give a damn about politics or government. They don't give a damn about auditing or about speaking truth to power. They learned to hustle. They learned that this, and I'll be really honest, there's a lot of dope guys out there that used to be sling dope that realize, hey, I don't have to be in such a dangerous game, which I guess is good for them because maybe they stopped slinging dope. Now they went out there and they got cameras and they're going out here and they're doing this fight. Well, what happens is a lot of people in doing that, they get overly aggressive and they cause all these problems, which is their right to do. But it's like, just, are you doing more harm than good? Because then what happens is someone like Josh goes to JD Prescott's event and they immediately paint Josh with that brush of he's just here to cause trouble. He's just here to make sure you arrest him wrong. And then when he arrests you, he's going to sue you. That's his racket. And as soon as Troy Prescott said that, literally every one of them said, yep, okay, I get it now. That's who he is. And they all did that. They all did this. And they knew Josh just like that. And it's bullshit. Because that's not what Josh does. Somebody sees me coming. Someone asks for my help in Elwood. Someone calls me and says, hey, I've got a situation in Elwood. Will you come help me? And I go up to a council meeting and I'm polite and I do my thing. And I get up there and someone just says, oh, don't pay no attention to him. He's just a First Amendment auditor here. He's just here to get arrested and be blah, 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 blah. And then everybody in there immediately is going to look at me and immediately paint me by a brush that's not true. So there's room for everybody out there, and there's room, and this needs done, and people need to be taught lessons. I just wish that I know, and I'm not saying Josh is like that. I'm saying they paint Josh with that brush. And I got you there, Diane. That's funny. I do the same thing, so no harm, no foul. But because listen, if you ask Josh is the first one to tell you. And I've even said that about Josh before. Josh is more of an auditor and I'm not. Josh says, no, Josh says openly, I don't consider myself an auditor. He's always said that. And when he said that back at the first, it actually got a lot of people mad at him. And I just said, look, you can call yourself a First Amendment auditor, But there's a lot more important amendments that matter, and they're all being broken every day. You know? So why waste your time? I heard a real prominent auditor blew up his channel, completely blew his channel up, ended it, made a new channel, and called himself a journalist. And he came out, his very first video is why the First Amendment auditor community is dead or should be dead. Something to that respect. And the guy came out and said, I don't want to hear anybody use the term auditor, and don't call yourself a citizen journalist anymore. Call yourself a journalist, period. You're a journalist. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm going to tell you, nothing hits me like the nobody does it like the original OG, the living man. I am the living man. The guy, the old man that's got the beard that yelled down that judge, like looked like old Judge Judy. The living man, he's my guy. I love that dude. He's like out fishing in a retention pond. There's no fish. He's like, I can fish to feed myself. They're like, how many fish you caught there? He's like because I'm not a big sovereign citizen person, but he's like, have you guys never saw that guy? You need to check him out. He's amazing. He's amazing. He's amazing. But that's why I say everybody, you know, but the other reason I said in his own mind is because this guy I don't know what he does with them. I don't know if it's all spank bank material or what he does with it, but he doesn't upload anything. He's went in and he's been doing these to people for a long time. I guess he just keeps it at home or whatever, you know, but he just goes and does it. So, you know, hey, he's right. Hopefully he's teaching the police something. I like seeing the people like the gray guy. Yeah, the who is this what? Who's the man I'm showing you, or who is the living man? Who is the living man? Which one, Nicole? This guy on the screen is some guy in Newcastle that Sproles thought was me. The I am the living man guy is well, he is the living man. That's his name. He is the living man. Let's see here. I think this is some news footage, so I won't get a ding for this. I can show you this, and then we'll wrap her up.
Do you still live at 28 Flying Eagle in Manhattan?
It is a storage unit that I sleep in.
You were also
There he
charged
is.
on the same date with resisting arrest in violation of 457301 of the Montana Code.
Those men were charged by me right back by staging an overthrow of the Constitution of 1789, an overthrow of the Bill of Rights, an overthrow of my rights to forage for food as a natural living person who was in Hungary. I was searching for something to put in my stomach, as I am recognized to be allowed to do by universal law. Has nothing to do with your corporate fiction. They violated everything, and furthermore, for your knowledge, they violated Judge Holly Brown's Title 26 United States Code ruling, which I went before her and prevailed on 21st March 2011. EP 09-58A is the case number wherein she evidenced that I am not a taxpayer because I am not a federal citizen. Federal law trumps state law at every turn. I have 9 judge rulings to that end, and that trumps state law. I am not registered crap. I am the living man, and I have the right to forage for food when I'm hungry.
And the living man.
All right,
Listen to this.
but you're here on different charges.
That
This
is
is not
what
Holly
stands.
Brown's courtroom.
Ma'am, you can argue this all day long. You're operating on
I'm
a
telling-
corporate fiction.
I'm telling you, you're here on some charges which were filed in 3 courts.
I do not
Number
understand
one.
those charges.
Number one, you keep interrupting me, and I'm gonna charge you with contempt, and you'll go to
All
jail.
contempt of court is spelled C-O-double-N. I know about conning. That's navigation.
Sir,
Contempt is the storm.
I said, be
Don't
quiet
touch me.
until I get
Don't
through
touch me.
reading this
You
to
ain't a
you.
god.
Don't judge me. You're not a
Don't
god.
touch me. I am the living man protected by universal law.
You keep
Stand
talking,
down.
and you're going to be charged with contempt, and you're gonna go to jail.
You have already contempted this place.
No, I told
by
you
the
I
fraud
would if
you're
you
trying
didn't
to
quit
get done
talking.
here. These are the living witnesses to what you're trying to do.
Very
You
good.
are trying to create a fictitious fraudulent action. You are trying to bilk the Federal Reserve by
Sir.
securitizing in all caps commercialized name
Sir,
and
would you
notifying
remove
them
him from the
that
court?
they are standing in debt now. If you touch me, you will violate natural law. Do not come near me. I am
Then
protected
shush,
by the land.
shush.
Do not tell me to shut up. I am the living natural man, and my voice will be heard. That is the Jolly Roger. That thing you call the American flag with the gold fringe around it is the Jolly Roger, and you are acting as one of his privateers.
Okay, you're here on the charge of arrest.
I'm here by
arrest.
special visitation.
Right. And you're
I've
here
never
on
let you get away with
obstructing
this.
a
You bet
police
I'm here.
officer. To each charge, could be up to a $500 fine, up to 6 months in jail.
I do not understand any charges. I only understand universal law and the right to live.
Well,
To
you
live
pled
at
not
peace.
guilty.
So
and to
what
live
this
as
guy
I
does,
live.
just to let you guys know, if you're interested in looking this up, I'm not a big fan of the whole sovereign citizen thing. It is what it is. We teach their own. I fight for anyone's right to say it. I don't consider myself a sovereign citizen. I am what I am. And I am who I am. I'm doing just fine, I guess, right now. I got a lot of problems with a lot of things, but I don't know. Anywho, if you want to look this guy's stuff up, his name is Ernie Wayne Turtle Gate, something like that. Look up I Am the Living Man. What ends up happening is he runs the judge out of the courtroom. She's like, if you don't stop talking, I'm going to find you in contempt. And he's like, you've already contempted this court. I have found you in contempt. And she tells the cops to go get him, and the cops won't go get him. The cops are like, nope, we're not doing it. And they just pack up and leave. And the film crew's just standing in there filming, and he's just going. And like, he beats everybody because he just goes, and they're just like, all right, we're done. And so he just goes out, him and his fishing pole, and he fishes in the next fishless pond, I guess. I don't know. So more power to him, I guess. I think I looked him up one time, and he's still doing well, but it is what it is. So I don't know. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, look, a couple things just to let you know. I am going to be still looking into what's happening with this crap with Ridenour. It's complete nonsense, and I'm going to get to the bottom of it. I'm going to do my very best to get to the bottom of it before Election Day, so we're under the gun. That being said, I also have work on the Sproles stuff I am still doing. I'm still waiting for some records out of Sproles country, so I will let you know when I get that. And then lastly, Oh, I went to the Board of Works. I've had some people ask me for the Board of Works. I went to the Board of Works on Wednesday. We haven't covered that because at the Board of Works meeting, Mr. Baker, Mr. Fun, was not there. He was down in Hilton Head golfing some golf. And I was like, I don't really care to get up and tell this to Marla Lowell or whatever her name is, Lola Maurer, and Linda Gregory, because if I get up and I tell them, I'm just going to have to come back next week to tell Ted again. So I was there. The meeting lasted exactly 7 minutes, and I was then out of there. So they then they came back and opened the meeting up again, and they did a guy that got there late. That's that. Tomorrow is Friday, and I normally would not be on, but I have a strong feeling that I will be. Kate won't be here tomorrow because you've got a thing, right?
I do have a thing tomorrow, but I'm just doing a tour, and I should be, I may be cutting it close, but I will be here.
So she might be a little late or real close, but we will figure it out. It was a whole cluster.
That's an actual day job thing I have to do.
Yeah,
tomorrow.
I knew that I was like, something is wrong because I am late. And
Kate's not bitching at me.
Kate's not said anything. And I finally looked in the thing and you were like, I'm going to be late. And I was like, oh my God, we are in so much trouble. We are in massive trouble. For the guy asking me his name, I just type in living man, or type in William Tyndale, Tyndale, William Tyndale, Tyndale, and it'll pop up. The Liberty Brothers radio show. He was on there. You can look that up. You can see that there. Mark Baggert. You can look him up. He'll talk to you. It's got on there. Law Talk with Mike. Sovereign Citizen 22. There's lots of different things on there. So you can find him. Just look up. All I typed in was, I am the living man. So. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all very, very, very much. Hey, Kate, we need more information on your tours. Audie and I are going to be out.
Well, if you pay your bloody invoice at any point in time.
Yeah, I need to get to I need to pay that. I'll try to pay that tonight.
You say that every night.
I know.
Christopher is going to lose his ticket because he not pay this invoice. So for those of you that don't know, I have a weird job and I am the general manager for 5 different haunted locations here in East Central Indiana. And the Randolph County Asylum is the biggest one of those. And we are doing what we're calling ghost tours. It's kind of a combination of a history tour and a haunted house on October the 27th. And October the 28th, we are doing history tours, flashlight tours in the dark, and then following that up with an overnight investigation that Kristopher, Audie and Darla are already on the guest list. Yeah. Kristopher is supposed to be on the guest list, but refuses to pay an invoice because he's always busy. And
I am the living man.
He is the living man. So he's going to show up and go, I am a sovereign citizen and I am joining this tour and I'm going to throw his ass out. So this should be interesting. But so if anybody's interested, it is Randolph County Asylum. You can hit our Facebook page up. But anyway, so that's it. But
I'm actually scared, Philip Holbrook said. All right. Well,
he might be.
Yeah, that's a very real possibility. Listen,
yes,
ladies,
Eric has been on the tour, and it is fun. It
is great. I've been out there. It's been a minute. I've not been out there overnight, but I've been out there for a tour before.
Yeah, and they are interesting, but
it's definitely a fun thing.
Yeah.
So, all right.
Alva's is demanding his postscript.
Okay, the postscript. I got the postscript here. The postscript is if you have a sore throat, oh no, hold on. I might have something more important. Host script is, this is just in right now. Sproles is currently lining people up to run against the council and commissioners. Sproles is currently, as we speak, lining people up to run against the council and the commissioners. So those of you in Henry County, I'm telling you, I told you. Sproles is going to be detrimental to the law enforcement in Henry County, and then it's going to trickle down to the people. You guys need to wake the hell up. You're getting ready to be living in a very scary place in Newcastle and Henry County. And if you elect Clay Morgan over Greg York, you guys are F-U-C-K fucked. ED. Fucked. All right. Hit the like, share the show with everyone you know, spread the word. Good night. God bless. Until tomorrow. Peace. Look at Sproles' head. Was he really? No way. That's big news.